This is my 2-week postpartum update, and I'm going to be doing Aurora's after this one. I'm just going to record them back to back, but she might be joining. She should be waking up any minute hungry, so I'm just listening for her, but I figured I'd get started. I had my 2-week postpartum appointment, which there wasn't that much that went on during it. I did ask her if I could go on this ATV ride that my family, my siblings, were going to go on at the end of September. My mom got us this ATV ride for Christmas, and it sounds like it might be best if I skip out on it, so that's either going to be rescheduled for October or I'm just not going to go. But she said my incision looked really good, and at the end of this video, I'll show my postpartum belly and what the incision looks like if you want to see. If not, you can just end it before then. The C-section incision is so painful, and anytime I think that I'm finally on the up and up and it's getting better, it's not. I end up twisting a way that I shouldn't. I bend over because I drop something and I automatically, that's just what I do, is I bend over to grab it and then realize I'm not supposed to. It is really painful, and I'm not taking anything for the pain. I haven't been really for almost a week. Yeah, we're just shy of a week since I've taken anything for pain, including narcotics, Tylenol, ibuprofen. I'm kind of over the whole thing, so I feel like if I can feel the pain and the movements better, then I stop myself from making that movement, as opposed to if it's more numb, then I end up hurting it more. That probably sounds so crazy, but it makes sense to me, and that's just what I'm doing. I mentioned in my last video that I should have maybe stayed longer in the hospital. The reason I said that is because I was technically there just about 48 hours from when I gave birth to her. And with a C-section, you typically stay longer than you would for a vaginal birth. Also, I feel like it was just such a nice place to stay, like I said before, because of the people and the staff. The beds, not so much, and I really hate when they come in all the time and they press on your belly. I thought that was just with vaginal delivery, and it's not. They press to see for bleeding, because you still bleed a ton with a C-section, vaginally bleeding. But they also check for the incision to make sure it's not bleeding, but that still is a thing. And the contractions after, all of that. I just feel like I'm such a baby when it comes to pain, and I hate having them press on it. I don't remember much from having Jackson, and that's one thing I remember, is them coming in and doing those massages and pressing on your belly, and I was like, oh, I won't have to deal with that because I had a C-section. No, wrong, you do. As far as the contractions, I didn't start feeling contractions until I was breastfeeding, so I was still in the hospital, but I felt like they only happened when I was breastfeeding. Let me phrase it that way. I actually started breastfeeding her pretty soon after she was born. Another thing I thought was going to be easier with the C-section, which no, that's not why I got a C-section. As you know, if you watch my other videos, it was definitely unplanned. But I thought going to the bathroom would be easier because you don't have any maybe possible tearing, stitches, all of that. No, it was so painful and so difficult still to go to the bathroom, which is crazy, but it is, and it was, and it kind of still is, to be honest. So I ended up wearing those mesh underwear they provide with the pads in it the whole first week and a half. In the hospital, when I got home, I was still wearing them, and I'm still having to wear pads because I'm still bleeding intermittently, and so I don't have any more of the mesh underwear to show because I ended up using all of them. But I do have these these are not just pads, these are diaper pads. But they don't fasten at the top, but they go in. I used these up until a week and a half after, and then switched to normal pads. They sent me with these, but I actually have my own that I prefer. And then I didn't really use these cold packs down there. I actually used them over my C-section. They just didn't last very long, so I ended up using my own ice packs from the freezer. This I didn't use at all, and I feel like this is like that Dermablast stuff. It says it's the benzocaine topical anesthetic spray, but I didn't use this at all because that wasn't necessary, and I didn't also need to use the Perry bottle. It also gave me a belly binder, even though I had my Frida, is it Frida? Frida Mom one, and I swear it made my pain on my C-section incision so much worse. I even had a staff member show me how to put it on, which I was doing it a little too high up. It needed to be lower. But even so, it was so painful, I feel like, having it on, that I ended up not really wearing them. As far as for the incision, all you have to do is really keep it dry. And when you shower, you just let the water run over you. You don't scrub it. You don't even really touch it, mess with it. And then after you're done showering, you just pat it dry. And that's been the instructions from like the beginning. And it still is for right now. So that's what I've been doing. And at my appointment, like I said, she said the incision looked really good. She could still see a little bit of glue, she said would flake off and go away. But other than that, that's looking really good. One thing that I experienced that really kind of freaked me out until it finally went away was I was having left like leg and foot swelling. It kind of was both for a minute, but then it was really my left foot, and like, I mean, I would move my toes and it felt like there was just like liquid water in my foot. And I know from having the epidural and being just unable to walk for a while, I think that it caused some of that, even though I did try to get up and walk as soon as I could. I experienced the left foot swelling for like a week after, and it's finally gone and my feet are good and we're good. But that really freaked me out because I started to overanalyze like if I had a blood clot, and just with how everything was going with the recovery, it just wouldn't have surprised me. So I think my mind was just kind of going there. All in all, my pain from everything from the C-section is definitely getting better. But that first week, worst week of pain in my life, especially when I was on the oxycodone and it was not even touching the pain. And then it obviously got better with the Norco, and then my issue switched to my boobs and hurting and mastitis. So I am glad about that. I still have some pain and soreness in the C-section area, especially if I am walking too much. I have a baby carrier, and if I'm carrying her around, I have to sit and stop and like take a break because it's hurting. So just kind of that kind of thing. I have to kind of watch if it starts to hurt or feel sore, or if I move a certain way. I'm not supposed to bend. I'm not supposed to twist. I'm not supposed to drive. None of that for like 6 weeks. And I've been doing all of that. It's not as easy as you think to go 6 weeks as a single mom without doing any of those things, let me tell you. She's crying. Let me go get her real quick. Hold on. Can you guys hear her breathing? She wakes up ravenous. She's so cute. She wakes up so hungry. Say hi, miss. Little missy. Oh, she's so sweet. She's so sweet. Okay, come here. The Boppy pillow has quite literally saved my life. I'm not even breastfeeding anymore, but with my C-section especially, holding her, anything like that will put that pressure on it. Geez, the lighting sure changed up. Sorry. I don't think it matters if you have a C-section, if you're breastfeeding, bottle feeding, anything. This Boppy pillow is absolutely amazing. And I plan to use it like when she starts sitting up to like help support her, like all of that. Like this pillow can be used for so many things. I would say one of my regrets that I noticed postpartum was I wish I would have drank more water before giving birth and in the hospital. I was so dehydrated that I feel like my lips were constantly cracking and bleeding, and I could feel like you lose so much blood, and it's like you need that extra water. And with vaginal delivery, it also helps, so they say, to make it so that you're like more stretchy, elasticy. I don't know. Those are not the terms I should be using, but that's what comes to mind with my sleep-deprived self right now. Overall, she has been such an easy baby in my mind. I mean, no newborn, I guess, is like super easy because it's a lot of work, right? Just to make sure they're fed and their diapers and baths and just every need is dependent on you. But I feel like she's just like really just like has more of a chill demeanor. There have been 2 episodes. One was last Friday. It was like before she was a week old. So was that last Friday? Anyway, for her first doctor appointment, where she had been just so fussy and inconsolable from like 4 a.m. to 10 or something like that, and just really seemed uncomfortable. And then there was another episode, I want to say it was the Monday that I started developing a really high fever, and it was from mastitis. And other than that, she pretty much just cries like if she's hungry or getting changed. She doesn't really cry with diaper changes, but like clothing changes. I can get more into that in her update video. So yes, to sum it up, she is using formula and binkies, which are 2 things that I was set on not doing. But if there's anything I have learned, our best plans are just not always going to pan out, and that's okay. And our mental health is the most important thing, and just surviving day to day. I am back to my pre-pregnancy weight. In fact, I think I'm a little bit under at this point. I was back to my pre-pregnancy weight when I was 1 week postpartum. Right now I weigh 148, and when I gave birth to her I was 167. I lost like, what is that? I can't do math right now. 18 pounds? 19 pounds. My boobs are still really sore, and I still am having milk being produced, even though I'm not pumping or breastfeeding at this point. So I'm still having to wear breast pads and ice packs and tight bras and all of that. My belly still has like a little pooch. You'll see, like, even though I'm back to my pre-pregnancy weight, I don't look like it. Like, I look different. And there's like a pooch from the Incision. It looks so weird, and I'm curious as to when that will go away. I'm just so thankful to get through that first bit, because I feel like I'm able to finally start truly enjoying this like motherhood journey. But even when I was super sick and miserable, I still like loved holding her, loved getting up with her in the night, loved feeding her and changing her, and just looking at her and all of her different expressions she makes and the subtle little ways that she changes day to day. I mean, I'm truly just so thankful for her, and now that I'm starting to feel better, I'm even enjoying it more so than I was in the beginning. She honestly just makes me so happy, and she's just worth everything, all of it. Everything that I've been through and went through, she's worth every last bit of it. She is so content right now eating that I don't want to move her, but I feel like I'm pretty much up to date. She's looking at me like, what are you talking about? Baby girl. So all I have left to do is really just show you my belly, and then I'm going to fix this lighting situation so we can do Miss Aurora's 2-week update, especially because we just went to her doctor appointment today. These Gerber burp cloths, by the way, are the softest. I've gone through so many burp cloths already, as you can imagine. The softest burp cloths I have ever felt in my entire life. I'm obsessed. I feel like she likes them a lot better too, because they're just so gentle. Can you say hi? Oh, big girl with one sock. Where's your other sock? Where's your other sock? Seriously, just sit and stare at her for hours, and sometimes I do. She's so freaking cute. Alright, I'm still in these maternity shorts because they kind of help my C-section just to feel better, but here's with my shirt on. And then pull this down. Here's the C-section incision. I don't know if you can see it from that view. Here's with the shirt up, and I still have that line that should be going away. And that's that little pooch I was talking about. Alright, I'm gonna finish feeding her and get her settled, and then we can do her update. And yeah, I think my next update I'll do will be my 1 month. Bye!